Good morning, 12th grade students. So today we are going to be starting our visual poem assignment. So remember what visual poetry is? Anyone want to raise their hand? It's the hybridization of poetry and visual arts. Within visual poetry, you have some poets that still rely pretty heavily on the written part, and then there's some minimal visuals to it. And then there's some visual poets who keep the writing to a minimal, but there's some elaborate visuals around the word. So for this assignment, we're going to be leaning more towards the visual poem that's reliant more on the visuals. The inspirations for this project, two visual artists, Bob Ross, Jackson Pollock. And then for the poet side, we're going to be referencing the poet Philip Gallo. Poem is Untitled. Let's take a look real quick at our references.
This is a painting by Jackson Pollock. He's known for a style called abstract expressionism, and he's also more known for his splatter and drip paintings, which I'm sure a lot of you have seen. This one is not so popular as those, but I really like it. It has a lot of good brush work, and I like the abstract element to it. Of course, we all know Bob Ross as the instructional painter from PBS. I really like the way he was able to just effortlessly create these compositions with just flicks of his brush and his palette knife. This is the visual poem we're going to be referencing for our project. This is Untitled by Philip Gallo, and as you can see, there's not a whole lot of written text to this poem, which is kind of nice because it allows you to focus more on the type and the font that Philip Gallo is using. I also like the way ping pong at the top and at the bottom are facing different directions. It's a nice kind of play and visual reference to the game of ping pong. Let's take a look at our supplies now. The Mod Podge is going to be used to glue the letters to the canvas. We have some spray paint, sponge brushes, scrapers, and our acrylic paints. We're going to be using whatever material we can get our hands on to create a variety of textures on the canvas. So plastic shopping bag, bubble wrap, whatever you have laying around that you might think would make a cool texture on the canvas, go ahead and use it. Use some of the Mod Podge and the sponge brush to glue the letters down to the canvas. These letters are going to be stencils, so we're going to be removing them at some point later on in the painting. You can go ahead and put the letters anywhere you want on the canvas. Just keep in mind visual balance. With the letters glued down to the canvas, we could do stuff like this. Go ahead and grab your scraper, get some paint on the edge, and just scrape the paint across the canvas, across those letters. The scraper gives a nice visual texture. Try to use some complementary colors together on the canvas. That way, there'll be a nice high contrast for the eye. We're also going to be using the masking tape as a sort of stencil. Just tear off pieces of masking tape, put it around the canvas. You could put them in a certain design if you want to. Like on mine here at the bottom, I was thinking of like a curved cobblestone walkway. So I made them in that pattern. And then in the sky, I just thought of a cloudy atmosphere. So that's why I put those masking tape pieces in that way. And once we have the masking tape down, let's put in spray paint on there. Let's create some layering in this composition. Once the spray paint dries, let's put another scraping layer over that. And let's see what kind of patterns that creates when we remove the masking tape. This part's pretty satisfying. Just start removing the masking tape and see what it reveals underneath. Kind of bad news right here, but by putting the Mod Podge down first and then the paint over the Mod Podge, that caused an issue with the stenciled letters. When I tried to pull them off the canvas, it pulled some of the Mod Podge with it and some of the paint. So that's why it looks very torn there in the middle where the words are. But hey, nature itself can be kind of unpredictable, so we're not going to let this stop us. We're just going to work with it and see what ends up coming up. So let's continue. Grab your paint brushes and put some textures down. You guys learned hatching already. Try some hatching. We could do some pointillism in the flowers. Have fun at this point. Just remember to maintain visual balance as you're working. And we got to bless our nature composition with some real nature. So here's some weeds from outside. We're going to slap this onto the canvas after dragging it through some paint. had my skateboard in my car, and I thought I'd grab it and use it to make the final touch on my painting. I'm going to roll the skateboard across the top of the painting to create a cool breeze. Remember, I said at the beginning, you guys can use whatever material you can find to get creative with your textures on your canvas.